Alright guys, this is how to fix a power window regulator for 2008 Lincoln MKZ. And so I heard some complaints online for the ones who would do the 2010 Fusions, 2011 Fusions, and whoever also had tutorials for this model of car that no one ever seems to show how to take off the rivets. So this is the 532, and I will go ahead and take these speaker wires out of the way. Have it in reverse so the teeth can grind into it, as you can see. Put it right there. Once again, I already popped them off with my Stanley punch tools and just drill. Alright, this is it. Look how junked up this is. Junk. This is toasted. No good. Let's go ahead and put that new regulator on. But the driver's window on this Lincoln MKZ does not go down. So first thing we're going to do is pop the bonnet. After we pop the bonnet, we're going to remove the negative battery cable. Negative battery cable will be removed. This way, once the door is open for however long it will take to fix it, it won't drain the battery. In order to remove the negative battery terminal, all we're going to use is an 8mm socket. Once you have the terminal removed, just secure it behind any portion of the battery, so this way there's no sparks or nothing can happen to you. Alright, next up, once we have the negative battery terminal disconnected, we're going to go ahead and tackle two T20 Torx bit screws. Okay, T20, there's one right here, and if we go all the way to the bottom, one more right there. Alright, so once you get those loosened, come up to the top, get a nice little screwdriver, and there's a 7mm screw that's inside this handle portion. And then move up a little closer, and there's a screw in there as well. Alright, the screws are removed. So once you remove the screw, get this panel, and you're going to push this in and pull it out in order to remove this clip. There you go. Now you can remove this. This is for the power locks. Alright, so now time to get behind this panel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a door trim panel remover and just stick it like right in here, and then just pop it all out. You hear that? One by one, just little bit by little bit towards different portions. You see that? Doesn't scratch it. It's perfectly fine. You see, it comes out perfectly easy. All right, see all that stuff back there? So once I get this off, I'm just gonna work my way around. We'll simply use our T20 Torx bit and get at these 3 screws. 1, 2, 3. And disconnect this portion here. Just these 3 screws, that's it. Comes off really easily. T20. It's always good to get a ratcheting system that allows you to ratchet it so you can use one hand. Alright, so once I'm done taking this off, we'll get to the next part and disconnecting this portion there. The 3 long T20 Torx bits screws have been removed. Once you remove it, just go ahead and wiggle this out. This is how to fix a power window regulator for 2008 Lincoln MKZ. You see the wires started to come out, and so that shows you that it's a bad regulator. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tape up the windows so that it doesn't fall, and I'm going to drill the pop rivets here. Most likely I'm going to get one there as well, and these 2 right here, 1, 2. So I have to drill those out. I'll do that before I remove these screws all around the post in order to remove this panel. And then from there, I'll take off the 4 nuts and remove the regulator. I went to Advanced Discount Auto Parts and purchased a new regulator. Alright, so, but at the same time I'll also remove all these wires because the door is going to be hanging too much. So I do need to remove the speakers, take this wire off, take this off, and then from there I'll go from there and show you where I'm at. Alright guys, to remove these pop rivets, you don't necessarily have to drill them. What I did was that I had a set of Stanley pinch punch set, and I used the 1/8, which is the 3mm. and I got a 4-pound hammer, placed it directly right here and hit it square. Bum, 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 like 3 hits, and then the pin that's inside flew right inside and it fell down. So all I need to do is just get a nice sharp object and just pull this out. Actually, I don't even have to pull it out because whatever is holding it is off, it's gone. So I can do the same thing here, same thing there. I'll probably have to use a smaller one because this 1/8 is too big for this side. So for this side, I'm gonna go back into the tool chest and probably use this one, which is a 1/16. Place it right in there. Same thing, hit it about 3 or 4 times, it'll fall right out. So it actually isn't that bad. And I'll do the same one right here with the 1/16 of an inch, which is 1.5 millimeters. Okay, so just go around, hit those rivets out, and you should be good to go. All these rivets have been punched out. Next up, I'm just gonna remove this right here. Remove it just like that by pushing in, like that, and it'll pop right out. Okay, it's just the cover. Place that aside. Then this one, you're just gonna pull down. Same thing here, pull it off. And this can come off too. If that's kind of hard, what you'll use is a trim panel remover like this. Go right in behind it. Dig in there. Push pull. Easy peasy. This is gonna have to come off as well. So that should be easy, and then I'll just work my way around and remove this panel. And I also gotta take off the speaker. 4 T20 Torx bits. Go ahead and remove the last one. And remove the speaker. It's gonna fall out, so hold it. Place this aside. Remove this speaker. And push in and pull. There we go. Speaker is out. One more. Let's hold this. Come on, one hand. Okay. Push pull. That should be okay that it fell. Alright, so this is a Mexico speaker from Ford. This is what came with the car. Still in good condition. Alright, so what you're going to do is just push this out of the way because your regulator and all your things are in there. There's a bolt in there too. I don't know if you can see, it's getting kind of dark, so I'm going to have to reconvene tomorrow to finish the entire process. But now we got to remove these all around. I was able to work my way around. These are 8mm socket heads that you'll use. 8mm right there, one right here as well, one right there as well, and I removed this one right here. This is also 8mm. You're just gonna let this hang right here. Just let it hang. It's perfectly fine. Nothing will go wrong. I removed this one as well. Oi. Okay. Let these hang. 8mm. Never been removed since 2007, even though this is a 2008 model. Alright, I'll go ahead and remove all this. After popping out the middle, the center of these pop rivets, you still do need to drill, unless you have a very sharp object that allows you to pop it off, but I have no angle for that. So this is a 5 64ths drill. Turn it to reverse, and then this way it'll go straight through it, and then remove this outer portion. So this is 5/64. And this one is 5/32 that you'll be using, the type of drill head. Okay, it's a little smaller than this. You'll be using it on that one and those two right there, okay? Behind the driver's door module, there's actually one more pop rivet. You have to get that one out too, okay? This is before you can take this whole thing off. Once I was able to dribble out this rivet, go ahead and get some wire cutters. Snap that. You can push this in and remove it. Make sure you have replacement zip ties. This way you can put that back and snag it in there. You definitely still have to remove these 2 bolts here. I already popped them in, so now I got to drill them out. And then once you're done, there's still one bolt here that you got to drill out once you remove the regulator, because you got to put that bracket back on there. So in order to cure that, I have some Hillman 1/4 washers flat washers and also nuts and bolts that I'll put on all the parts that I drill the rivets out. So this is the regulator right here, guys. It doesn't seem like such a hard job once you get this panel off. So let's go ahead and drill those last 2 bolts out and that 1 bolt in the middle, and then I'll be good to go. And so I heard some complaints online for the ones who would do the 2010 Fusions, 2011 Fusions, and whoever also had tutorials for this model of car that no one ever seems to show how to take off the rivets. So this is a 532, and I will go ahead and take these speaker wires out of the way. Have it in reverse so the teeth can grind into it, as you can see. Put it right there. Once again, I already popped them off with my Stanley punch tools, and just drill. 532, easy. Forward, out. Same thing here, reverse again. That's it, now we're done. So this whole panel can now come off. Once again, I got a new one from Advanced Auto Parts for less than 60 bucks. You don't have to take this whole panel off, just you kind of let it hang just like that. Okay? It's already free from the regulator. This is it right there. So go ahead and move your tape. Go ahead and slightly push down. And as you can see, the regulator is coming down by itself. It's on the window. This is the window, so you're going to remove this bolt right here and that bolt right there to release it from the window. Once that's down, then you can just put the new one in, left and right. Wow, this whole thing was destroyed. Look at this. Since 2007, this thing is jacked up. No good. This is actually a 10mm, and this is also a 10mm right there. I went ahead and confirmed with the new part that everything matches up. Once I remove this, this will relieve the tension and allow me to remove the window, the glass from this. So let's get to it. All right, just that easy. You see how easy that was to come off? Let's do a little bit more and it will come off just like that. So I'll do the other side, and once I get the entire regulator out, I'll get to that last punch hole bracket there, and that should be it. I removed these 2 10mm bolts. Remove that. This is the bracket. I gotta punch this out and drill it out, and then I can put this on the new regulator, which is right here. So it's exactly the same, but this is from Advanced Auto Parts. That bracket will go right there. This is exactly the same way it's gonna go. So the window once again is held up by tape, even though it's halfway. See, this is actually really easy. This is the old regulator, guys. Snagged. All right, this is it. Look how junked up this is. Junk. This is toasted. No good. Let's go ahead and put that new regulator on, but before I do that, let's pop this rivet out to get that bracket off. I already popped this rivet out with the 1/8 Stanley punch set. Put it right in there, punch it out. 5/64 drill, reverse, ready? There you go. You don't need to go any further. Once you've already reached that point, you can kind of twirl it out. See? There goes the punch hole right at the back. Remove it so it doesn't have any structure anymore. You can kind of like pull it. Just like that. These were the parts that were holding it from front to back. Rivets, punch hole. Alright guys, so I got to put this on the new regulator before I install anything. So I'll use my washers and my new bolts, nuts and bolts. Alright, it's getting kind of dark. This is a project, guys. So what I'm going to use is this one. So this is a 12 slotted Phillips machine screws, UNC 32 by 1 inch. I'll be using this, one of these back ends of the bolts, and also a washer to go into this portion here because these are smaller. this cannot fit the same screw as this 1/4 can with the flat washers, okay? With these bolts. So once I get these into here, then we should be good to go. All right, that's all I can show you for tonight. And then in the morning, I'll show you how I put it back on. All right, guys, I'm back at it again. I have the old part and the new part. New part number is 740140. This is a window regulator, once again, for a 2008 Lincoln MKZ. The daylight has come, so I'm gonna show you a couple things that you need to make sure you're aware of once you take this regulator apart. This bracket was actually right here, so I just went ahead and put a bolt there with the ending portion. No need for a washer. And if I need to adjust it, I can still adjust it because it's not on that tight. It doesn't need to be that tight. So it has to be adjusted to fit into the holes within the car. And I'll show you that right now. It has to be adjusted to fit right there. Okay, so once again, the screws I'll use will just be these for these small holes in there. Okay, I mentioned it earlier, these screws are slotted Phillips machine screws, UNC 32 by 1 inch. That's what I'm using for these two holes for that bracket. That's where the bracket is going, okay? I'm trying to be as detailed as possible. But other than that, I'm gonna go ahead and put the window back up because I see it fell overnight because the tape was kind of cheap from the Dollar Tree. Put it up halfway and go ahead and install this new regulator. So what I went ahead and did is just simply place the new regulator in just like this. You can let this kind of hang. It's okay that it hangs. It's not gonna fall because there's like a nub like right here that keeps it, that nub that keeps it steady. But it's okay. These wires are holding strong. They're not bending. Nothing's happening. You could put like a bucket down there, whatever. So just place the regulator in just like this. The first thing we're gonna do, this new regulator already came with 10mm bolts. So we're gonna place the window up yay high. Just place some tape right up here. It's not gonna fall. Make sure it's within the tracks right there. And then we're just gonna tighten these right up in here. And this one right up in here. You can adjust it right over there. It already has the indentations from before. After that, you can do it either way by placing these posts right where they belong, right in here. And then from there, you can do the bracket, which is right down in here. And then from there, you can just close this up and just bolt everything back up, and then you're done. I'm not gonna show every single part of that because I can't do it only with one hand, but I just essentially explain exactly what I'm doing, okay? One by one. And the bracket right there. All right, so after I went ahead and placed these posts underneath the actual window, you don't want to connect anything yet because as you can see, these holes have to be lined up to these holes right here and this right here, the outside. So you cannot install the regulator completely. So first what I did was I went ahead and used a replacement nut, bolt, and washer so I could get this lined up perfectly fine. This is the new regulator right here. But as you can see, the post, this bracket here is still not on. So this is next. So what I did was I lined up the actual pin that's there. There's a pin back there I showed you earlier. I lined it up and I lightly just finger tightened this. It's not on completely because I still need to go behind and connect my regulator to the bottom of the door sill. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna stick my hand in here and adjust it by lifting up the window a little bit more. And once I lift it up and then I get two hands in there, then I can line these two brackets here to this portion right there. And then once again, I need two hands to do this. And then from there, I'll go ahead and line everything up and put everything around where the screws need to be. All right, guys, I went ahead and placed the negative battery terminal back on the car. So what I did is I went ahead and put everything back where it's supposed to be. Didn't put the speaker back yet because I wanted to try and see if it worked first. So the key is in the ignition. Go ahead and press down. Everything works fine. All right. So that's it, guys. That's how you fix a regulator for a 2008 Lincoln MKZ. Check back with me next time for more car fixes.